That man's an imposter. That man is the imposter.
One of the most fun things you can do in Yu-Gi-Oh! Is watching your opponent set up a crazy board only for you to tear it apart bit by bit and attack for lethal at the same time. Hey guys, this is Aremia, and we are bringing back the Crusadia Kaiju deck this week. So let's just jump in and see exactly what this deck can do against some of the craziest archetypes in the game. Crusadia, going second. And we have a Kaiju. As well as Exceed and a Crusadia monster, so honestly I don't really care what they're doing. They're playing Swordsoul, obviously. They're gonna go Jizukiru, Chain Block with the Moye, and go long one. So I imagine they go... Oh, okay, so they go Baronne here. Usually I see people go Kijing, I think is the name for it, but it doesn't really matter, because we have a Kaiju and Slumber, so we give him another Kaiju, and we can go ahead and do our Crusadia combos. Exceed, gonna extend us here, which is really nice, and Chain Block the Magus. Search our damage doubler in Maximus, and we have a World Legacy Succession, but okay. So we're just gonna use it to go Equimax. They called by the grave, but it doesn't really matter. We swing in for double damage. GG's. I never noticed that Dark Magician just shakes his head when he loses. Alright, Crusadia. Stuck going first this game. So we're just going to try to set up our IP Masquerena into Avermax play. IP Masquerena, of course, lets us Link Summon on our opponent's turn, and she protects the Link monster she goes into from destruction effects. And going into Avermax this way means we have a monster that can't be targeted, can't be destroyed, and has a hard time being swung over. So they're going to Imperm our IP Masquerena, so we're going to activate in response and go up to Avermax, and they play Droplets, and they discard a Nerval, which means we can activate anything other than monster effects in response. So we activate our Crusadia Power spell, and that is going to protect our Avermax from any of our opponent's effects for the entire turn. So that's pretty good. And we're up against some kind of Tri-Brigade deck, and they discard an Albion, so, or shuffle back an Albion, so we're up against branded Tri-Brigade. So they're going to do their thing. They go for Oath as well as Verte, and of course pay 2,000 to send Branded Fusion, and to go into Mirror Jade. There it is. Mirror Jade, obviously really busted. It does not actually target when it banishes, so that does get around our Avermax. So luckily for us, they actually don't turn their response settings on, so we have a chance to just Kaiju this Mirror Jade, and they can't activate its banishing ability in response because tributing is part of the cost for the Kaiju. And now we do actually have lethal if we summon Maximus and double our Crusadia Avermax's damage, because it would gain a bunch and it would deal 3,000 times 2, which is 6, and would win. But I had a feeling that this face down trap was Tri-Brigade Revolt. So I choose not to waste my resources and just swing in to trigger the Revolt, which they did have. So they're going to summon a bunch of monsters, and then link up to Shireg, the Ominous Omen, which is kind of redundant. Something is ominous and an omen. But Shireg also has untargeting banishing. So we lose our Avermax, go to main phase 2, and I just blow up the board with Slumber, and then at the end of our turn, we're going to lose our King Ghidorah Kaiju to the Mirror Jade ability. So now they're going to do some Tri-Brigade stuff. Go ahead and summon a Hresvelger, but not around for a long time because they go into access code. for 53, and they leave us at 500 life points. Oh my goodness. And we top deck a Called by the Grave. So we activate our Slumber in our graveyard to search a Kaiju. They use a shiny Ash Blossom that we banish with Called by the Grave, so that was kind of lucky for us. And we search one of the last Kaijus in our deck, Gadarla, use Maximus to go to Magus, and then summon our Kaiju to the zone Magus is pointing to, so we get a search for Crusadia Draco. And then we can go up to Regulex, use Draco to trigger the Regulex and bring back the Maximus that we used. And we get to search our Crusadia Revival. So, link up to Equimax, use our Revival, which is going to pump Equimax up by 500, and we're going to activate it to let Equimax swing at all of our opponent's monsters this turn. So, Maximus going to double our damage, and we can go ahead and swing in. So we kill the Kaiju, and then we negate the access code and swing over the access code by 200. So it's kind of back and forth. What are we going to do? They set a card. They clearly don't have any action. They used up all their resources. And we draw into Imperm. So we set that, pass back, and they set a card. So they don't have any monsters. And we draw Reclusia, which means we're going to try to destroy that card. So they actually discard a branded fusion here, which means we can activate Equimax in response. So we're going to tribute the Reclusia, targeting the droplet and negate it. We had to do that because it would have halved our Equimax's attack, and we can actually swing in. That's such a crazy game. Oh my goodness, GG's. Alright, Crusadia. Going second, they go Prosperity. And we find out we're up against Floowandereeze. And they, of course, take Dimension Shifter, but we actually don't care a whole lot about that. We can't use Draco to pull back anything because it's going to get banished, but we can play around that. Of course, they're going to go for their Floo Bird combos and get out M-Pen. But we can special summon all of our stuff in defense mode. And we pull Parallax Seed, which is pretty good. We're going to destroy their attack monsters because we need to get rid of the barrier statue if we're going to play the game. Unfortunately, that means we leave up their trap that lets them normal summon, but that's okay. We're going to chain block with Exceed. Search Arboria because we already have our Maximus in hand. Go Regulex, summon Arboria, search Power. Just because we know they're going to go into their Ryza, the Mega Monarch or something at some point. And we're going to go Douglas because we don't have anything to swing over and kill. They do Called by the Grave the Exceed, which is unfortunate. And there they do their normal summon, which I think is a mistake on their part, honestly. But yeah, see, there's the Ryza. And they're going to banish our Maximus. And now they're going to go for Ryza. But we already activated Crusadia Power. So Equimax is unaffected. And now, because we activated Crusadia Power, after they did their whole thing and tried to shut us down, we actually can just play Kaiju Slumber now, and our Equimax is unaffected, and we have monsters on their side of the board that can get destroyed. So the Kaiju Slumber can resolve properly, and then we just summon Kaijus to the right zones and swing in to win the game. So honestly, a pretty cool interaction there. Playing Crusadia going second. And they play Allure, banish an Albaz, so we find out we're up against Albaz, Despia, Branded, whatever you want to call it. And they're also playing Nemesis Corridor. So this is actually like a Thunder Dragon Despia build, which is really cool. I love Thunder Dragons. I'm thinking about making a Thunder Dragon video at some point. But this deck is crazy strong. So they go Albion, and then Dragostapelia, which is kind of cute. I like that. Then they go Branded Fusion. And pass turn. So they didn't go into Mirror Jade for some reason. But we have Lightning Storm, so we get rid of their spell. And then we Kaiju the Colossus. And then we Slumber. They bring back the Branded Fusion, but they're not going to have another turn anyway. So we go Reclusia, Magus, Exceed, Chain Block with the Exceed. Gonna go ahead and search, and they scoop it up. GG's. Crusadia. With a pretty good start. And we are up against the Halq-Auroradon pile of cards. So they're going to bring back Red Rose Dragon, go for Needle Fiber, go for Jet Synchron, go for Auroradon. I was running Token Collector for the Duelist Cup in this deck as well, but did not start it, so kind of out of luck. Okay. So their Protoss chose Dark, which is really good for us. If they chose Light, we would be in trouble, and we probably couldn't play the game. This is a really crazy board. So this face down is 9 Pillars of the Yang Zing. It's an Omni Negate as long as they control a Yang Zing monster. Their Chao Fang was synchro summoned with an Earth and a Light monster, which means we can't activate the effects of Earth and Light monsters, which is unfortunate because all of our Crusadia Link monsters are Light attribute. So that is one thing we really need to get off the board. They also have a monster negate in Chi-Zhao, and they have an Omni negate off of the Barone, as well as Supreme Sovereign being able to banish one of our cards if they set up the situation properly. So we are in a lot of trouble. The only way that we can break this board is if we draw a Kaiju off the top, and it has to be a Kaiju. And we do manage to draw Gadarla, so let's see how we can break this ridiculous board. So first off, we are going to Lightning Storm and call Spell Traps, because we want to get rid of that Counter Trap Omni Negate, and they do choose to waste one of their negations. Basically, what I was trying to do here is set up this check situation. If you've ever played chess, it's kind of like when a knight is threatening two different things and they have to choose to save one of them. So they have to activate this to negate it, or they lose one of their negations, or they lose their Barone negation. So they choose to keep their counter trap negation and use up their Barone negation, which is perfectly fine with us. Because if they used this, then we would just Kaiju the Barone. But if they use the Barone negation, then we just Kaiju their only Yang Zing monster. So they negate the Lightning Storm, and we Kaiju the Yang Zing monster, and now we are free to activate Kaiju Slumber because they can't use their counter trap. So they're going to activate their Supreme Sovereign to protect itself, and this can't be destroyed by card effect, but we can still summon our Kaiju in attack mode and summon ours. So now they're going to banish it, but that's totally fine with us. So we can go Maximus, and we have Parallel Exceed to extend our combo here. So we can go Searching and summon out another Exceed. We're going to search Arboria just to be safe, just in case they did have something crazy, but I don't think they do. We go up Regulex, and we need the Revival, I think, in order to win through the Supreme Sovereign decreasing our attack. So we're going to make it so Equimax can attack everything, just to be safe, and then we swing in for double damage. So we actually managed to beat the Needle Fiber Auroradon combo by being extremely lucky. We had all of the cards we needed in order to do that and top deck a Kaiju, but it is possible. It is possible. This deck is actually really strong. So Crusadia is so much fun, you guys, and it's actually surprisingly budget. Besides Kaiju Slumber, all of the ultra rares are really staples that you can put in just about any deck you want. A couple of quick notes on the deck, since it changed a little bit from last time. Make sure to use a couple copies of Gadarla. Because it is wind attribute, you can actually use it to get rid of the wind barrier statue and hopefully keep playing through the crazy Floo board. That matchup is really difficult, but Gadarla will help a little bit. We also added in a copy of Link Spider as an extra way to play through a Nibiru. It doesn't always work out as the best option, but it's still good to have. But anyway, that is going to do it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps out the channel. As always, the written out deck list is down in the description, along with a link to my Twitter, which is a thing I did a while ago. I just kept forgetting to mention it because I'm horrible at social media. So if you're interested in that, go ahead and check that out. But anyway, I will see you guys next time, and I hope you have a great day, and God bless.